Few missions matter more than helping people live healthier, happier, and longer lives. But turning that mission into reality at scale is one of the greatest challenges of our time. In this podcast, I speak with the people who are taking that challenge head on, health entrepreneurs who have dedicated their personal and professional lives to creating maximal impact, the true impact junkies. My name is Daniel. Join me as I speak with them about their stories behind the mission, the wins, the losses, challenges, and breakthroughs, with the hope of inspiring many more people to join the mission and the health revolution. Today's guest on Impact Junkies is Farrell, a person with an amazingly big heart who is always driven to help people. Welcome to Impact Junkies. Kennedy, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Amazing to have you here. Are you comfy where you're sitting?
Yeah, I'm very comfy.
Good stuff. Welcome to the studio and welcome to Copenhagen. It's a pleasure to be able to host you here. But you've been to Denmark before.
I have, yeah. Last year.
What's your experience of Copenhagen?
I love it. There's so many people outside. Everybody's riding bikes. Everybody's fashionable too.
Oh, yeah.
They're all fitted up. I love that. Yeah.
If I can match
you
that.
especially, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
It's amazing to have you here. And like you just spoke a bit off air just before about, okay, it's been a ride. You've only been coaching in this sense for just under 1.5 years, but a lot has happened in that time. Has it been a fast pace? Is it possible for you to kind of comprehend where you're at now compared to 1.5 to 2 years ago?
It's definitely been fast paced. Like, I think every day that I wake up, I'm just like, all right, it's a new day. We have a new to-do list. We have new goals. It's all very exciting, but I think it's like, wow, it's already been 1.5 years. I feel like I just started. So kind of looking back to where I started to now has been, I mean, I can't even fathom. I'm like, how did I get here?
Yeah. And where will you get to?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Within those a year and 4 or 5 months, you've achieved a lot and had a lot of impact on your clients. I mean, within that time, you've had a total of just over 1,300 clients. You are getting them active. I mean, they have logged just under 30,000 workouts.
Wow.
In that time.
Oh my
under
gosh.
your program. They track a lot of different activities. Around 54,000 different activities have been logged by your clients. You and your team have sent 80,000 video, audio, and text messages to support them along that journey, and they are very satisfied with your product as far as I can see. And what are your thoughts on the impact that you and your team are having on people?
I mean, it's just crazy. I am blessed to say the least, but I think overall just very happy. This is definitely what motivates me to keep going. So obviously days when I feel like overwhelmed and a little tired. I mean, those statistics right there that you just, or the numbers that you just gave me are the reason why I do what I do. And I would like to say, as far as like the activities go, it just warms my heart.
Yeah.
I love that people are active. I mean, that's what I feel like health is. It's just being active in so many different ways. And I love encouraging people to stay healthy, stay active, and do what makes them happy too. I will say just a little tangent. I did do a little challenge probably 2 or 3 weeks ago where I was like, you guys can do whatever activity you want for zone 2 cardio. Like, don't do the regular treadmill, don't do the Stairmaster. Like, I want you to do an activity that you love or that you haven't tried in a while. So one of my girls went to like a skate rink and she went skating and,
Interesting
playing.
you say that, because I was actually going to ask you about that, because I could see a lot of different activities which I don't see as much of.
Yeah.
Right? There was pickleball, there was skating, there was a bit of surfing,
It's
there
so
was
fun.
all sorts of stuff.
I mean,
there.
just really, truly encouraging them to, find ways to fall in love with health the same way that I have. So makes
and
a big
help
difference.
people fall in love with health, because I think, one thing which really stands out to me about you is that you help people. There's like a big neon sign over your head, which just reads bright, and it says, I help people. And you do that in so many ways, right? Could you just give me just the bird's eye view of beyond coaching, what it is that you also do? Because that's quite unique,
Yeah.
I would say. To you.
So I'm also an ICU nurse. So help people in the hospital. Obviously when their time comes, to make them feel comfortable and just kind of help them, towards the end of their lives, if that's kind of where they're headed. Yeah, I've been nursing for probably almost 3 years now. Right now I'm 2 days a week, so it's taken back a little bit. But yeah, I love it.
So nursing, ICU, which is intensive care unit, correct?
Yeah.
And coaching and having enormous impact on people and on their health and happiness in various ways.
Yeah.
This is like a cornerstone in who you are as a person, this need and ability to help other people. I'd like to understand a bit of where that comes from.
Yeah.
And usually with those types of patterns, it comes from early in people's lives, right? This like urge or desire to have this impact on people.
So I'd say that it started when I was very young. And for those of you who don't know, my parents both struggled with alcoholism and addiction. And so it was a little hard because I kind of watched them struggle to cope. And instead of them having these healthy coping mechanisms of using, activity or journaling or, healthy eating habits, they kind of turned to alcohol and drugs to kind of help them cope with whatever stress they had going on in their lives. And I was probably around 12 or 13 when all of that kind of started. And, I'm on Pinterest reading. I'm like, I got to find these good quotes. Like, I need to find ways to basically help myself cope with what's happening, with them, and to also be able to help them. So
you're actually trying to find a solution.
Yes.
Right? Because I mean, that's a lot to deal with, 12, 13 years old in that environment. But you're like, your key instinct is, all right, let me research. Let me figure out a solution.
Part of my homework.
I need some homework.
Yeah.
And so what did you do practically? Because it seems like you also took some active steps there to try to help them. What did that look like?
I think it was more so of just like, hey, how about we do this instead? Like, let's have family dinners together. Let's go for a walk. Like, let's go do something to where we're not sitting in the house and, obviously sitting with our struggles and our stress and our anxiety. So that was definitely, one way. But I was also doing competitive cheerleading at the time. So I definitely used that as a little getaway, if you will.
We'll get into that for sure. But you also mentioned Pinterest and researching to give yourself a toolbox to cope. What did that look like?
It was mostly just like trying to figure out how to become mentally healthy and how to teach my parents basically the same thing. And it's almost like it was like therapy for me, because obviously I wasn't going to therapy at that time. So it was just a way for me to kind of understand what I was going through and my emotions instead of, falling into their same coping, patterns. So yeah. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it sure did. I mean, what a hard situation to be in, and ultimately, it's not your responsibility as a child to fix the problem of adults.
Yeah.
Is that something which you came to terms with at some point where like, okay, this is, I can't solve this on behalf of others?
Yeah. So I was probably around 16 or 17 when I kind of came to that conclusion of, at the end of the day, people are going to do just, what they know. And it's up to them to make those changes for themselves. They cannot make any changes for somebody else. It has to strictly be because they want to do it. And I'd say I learned that at a pretty young age, again, 16, 17 years old. And then at that point, I was like, I just have to let go. I have to let them figure it out themselves. There's no more that I can really do or say to make them want to change or get better. Although I did spend all of those years,
Yeah.
kind of wanting them to and trying to almost force them to. But yeah, yeah,
That's a hard things to it's a hard thing to come to terms with.
yeah,
I mean, going from 12 to 16, also some quite formative years
yeah.
as an early teen,
Oh, for sure.
right? So, I mean, what did that decision process look like? Because it seems you got to a point where you had let's say a moment of clarity or something
hmm
where you realized that you had to go about this
Yeah,
differently, also for it to be sustainable for
yeah.
you. How did you get to that point?
I got to that point because at some point, I had realized that I did not like the person I was becoming. And I think that's obviously because of everything that was going on in my home life and just everything else that was going on. I realized that I had like a victim mentality. I was very negative.
Mm.
I was basically just projecting all of my feelings onto everybody else. Um, and I just genuinely was like, I do not like the person that I'm becoming. I want to be positive. I want to be a light. I want to help people and I want to make people feel good when they're around me. And at that point, I felt like a very dim, dim light.
Right, right.
So I think that that's when I realized that I was like, I'm going to have to let go of everything that is bringing me down and everything that's causing me to feel this way. And in that case, it was my parents,
Mm.
unfortunately. So yeah, I was like, I can't end up like them. I don't want to, go through these same struggles. So yeah, it was more so of like, I can't be this person anymore. I have to let go.
And pivot towards something which makes the light brighter.
Yes, yeah.
And what was that then?
So it's actually crazy. This girl that I cheered with in high school, she was older than me, and I kind of recognized how she made people feel, and she was so bright and happy, and you could just feel her energy. And I was like, I want to be like that. Like that is who I want to be. And so again, back to my Pinterest board I go. I'm like, I'm trying to find ways to literally rewire my brain into being more positive, being more optimistic, and overall just happier despite whatever struggles I'm
Mm.
facing, and to just be resilient.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
back to that, like, okay, there's a solution. The core idea there
Mhm.
is that change is possible.
Mhm.
Right? This seems like this was always very clear to you.
Mhm.
That's a thing which a lot of people can be in
Yeah.
doubt about, right?
Yeah.
To say, okay, I'm like this.
Mhm.
This is my life. These are my life
Yeah.
circumstances. It is what it is.
Yeah.
That seems like something which you refuse to
Oh yeah.
accept
Yeah.
that premise,
Mhm.
right? Where
Mhm.
does that come from?
I think it came from, obviously seeing my parents that
Yeah.
I think I was just so set on the fact that you guys do not have to live this life.
Mm.
You guys do not have to feel this way. You have to take matters into your own hands. You have to take control of your life. It doesn't matter what kind of stressors you're having or, what anxiety you have about X, Y, and Z. Like, your thoughts are going to create your reality. Your perspective on life creates your reality. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And I bring that obviously wherever I go. But um,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know if that really
No,
answered
it
your
does.
question or
So
not.
is that part of the toolbox that you built at that time? Is that, it sounds like you mentioned rewiring
Yeah.
your brain,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
neuroplasticity and everything.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Oh, how did I do that? I mean, it took a while.
Yeah.
I'd say probably like 2 years, and I think the same way that goes with health and fitness. You guys know that it takes a long time,
Mm.
and consistency over perfection always. So I think it was just constant reminders of anytime that I had self-doubt or anytime I could feel myself being more negative or pessimistic, I had to snap myself out and be like, no,
Mm.
this is how it's going to be. Like, you need to be happy, you need to be thankful, gratitude. So just really like focusing on, I guess, who I didn't want to be.
Right. Right. And it seemed like you also got a bit of a break or some more light, let's say, to use your words,
hmm
through cheerleading, which you
hmm
just mentioned a couple of times. What did cheerleading give you?
Oh, so much.
Yeah.
I am forever, forever, forever grateful that I um, did competitive cheerleading, I think one, it was an outlet for me to kind of just like let go of whatever was going on in my personal life, as far as like family goes and, high school and you guys know the struggles.
Mm.
So that and my coaches did teach me a lot of lessons, but number one being leave it at the door.
Leave it at the door.
Yeah.
Explain
And
that to me.
I absolutely love that saying. And it mostly went for high school drama. You get all the high school girls in one spot. We're all talking about, so they're like, leave it at the door. But for me personally, that meant leave everything at the door, be intentional, be present with your time here. And yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
A strong lesson, because I mean, there is in movement, in cheerleading, in anything, there is the opportunity to be present in that, which can be kind of meditative,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
A form of mindfulness,
It
active
is.
mindfulness, right?
Because you're only thinking about that one thing. And it's like by the end of it, you feel like, amazing. It's great. I'm like, I completely forgot about all the others, other stuff going on. It's wonderful. All I'm thinking about is flying and tumbling and,
Flying and tumbling. I think you have to explain competitive cheerleading to me a little bit so I understand what you do there.
Competitive cheerleading is basically you spend all year creating a 2-minute, 30-second routine that you perform probably like 7 or 8 times on stage. And yeah, we have practices like 5 days a week. I was there like 7 days a week, just messing around because obviously I loved it. But yeah, it's a routine full of jumping, tumbling. I was a flyer at the time.
What's a flyer?
They like put you up in the air.
So you're the one that they throw,
Yeah, that they throw.
gets
Yeah,
thrown up
yeah.
and tumbles around. Wow.
Yeah, I love the adrenaline, so that was like my favorite part.
That's truly something that requires some presence.
Yeah, for sure. I can't be thinking about something else whenever
It doesn't work. Amazing. Okay, so this is really your introduction to what training can give you beyond, of course, being able to fly and tumble,
Yeah.
but presence, calm, silence in the storm type of environment. Would you agree with that? Is that where you really learned that?
I agree. I think that being active and going to the gym, it could be stressful if that's how you choose to look at it. And if you're not intentional with your time there, if you're going to the gym and you're thinking about work and you're answering text messages, responding to emails between sets and stuff like that, the gym isn't fun anymore. And it feels like a stressor. But when you choose to be intentional with it, again, you feel good because you're like that. I just gave myself an hour to completely turn off my brain and only think about the sets that I was doing, my breathing, mind to muscle connection. So usually once you figure that out, you're set.
Amazing. So you stopped competitive cheerleading after high school or what?
I stopped after high school and then I did it for like a year in college. Yeah.
What took its place, or what did that transition?
So the transition was a little odd. So after I stopped cheerleading, I was kind of like, what do I do now? Because I knew that I enjoyed moving my body and just, again, like I said, it's an outlet for me, good coping mechanism. So from there is when COVID hit and I was like, all right, well, all the gyms are closed. I'm home. I have really nothing to do. So I just started doing a lot of cardio. I was bike riding and then I would go swimming at the beach. I would do like random HIIT workouts in the sun. It was really just being active right. Because I didn't have anything else to do.
And is this also the time when you get into nursing?
So I was actually starting nursing school around this time. Yeah.
And what does that decision look like? Because as far as I could understand, you have multiple nurses in your family, right? So what does that look like, your decision to go into nursing? So
I had always been around nursing my entire life, and that's simply because my mom and then both of my sisters are nurses. So I was used to hearing the stories and kind of like their day-to-day and, their schedules, stuff like that. So originally, I was like, I don't want to go into nursing just because that's what's familiar to me. I was like, I want to truly do it because I want to. So I went into nursing thinking this might not be for me. This might not be something that I want, and that's okay. I'll figure it out. And then once I got into nursing, I was like, okay, this is for me. I enjoyed learning about it, studying. I find that challenges they always make me feel good. So
the challenge of learning something new?
The challenge of anything challenging, I feel really good afterwards. So nursing school definitely brought me that. That's for sure.
That's a very, let's say, healthy approach to getting your dopamine kicks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's by the book, right?
Yeah.
It's not addictions. It's it's something that only leads to something better. Right? Achieving something, applying yourself, learning something new, and getting joy out of that. That's quite amazing.
Yeah. And then on the same, I mean, just like you said, of the billboard of I help people, the neon sign of I help people above me. Again, that's another reason why I wanted to go into nursing school. And the more clinical rotations I did, the more I was like, wow, like I just want to help people. And I just, again, want to bring light and positivity, not only to my patients, but to my coworkers and everybody else around me. So, yeah.
And so we spoke a bit about COVID and doing cardio workouts, now, which seems a bit different from your approach or your toolbox now. Like, what did that learning curve look like? Where were you, like, physically, and what you wanted to do with that physicality from cheerleading, which is quite different?
Yeah. So physically, where I was at that time was, I just want to move my body. I want to feel good. I want to just stay as active as possible. And then I kind of moved into, I want to be strong. Like, I want to look strong. And so that's when I was like, I want to get into strength training because a lot of the girls that I started following on social media were into strength training. So I was like, I want to look like them. I want to look strong. So that was like the first time I'd really stepped foot in a gym. Was like when I started nursing school. And it was trial and error for me.
Yeah.
I just went in there and I was like lifting random weights, I'm doing random stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is going to give me the physique that I want. Cause I didn't know much, but I was like, I'm in here, I'm getting comfortable at least.
Was it just the physique you were going for? Was it like, cause sometimes there's more to being strong, right?
Yeah. I think because of everything that I had been through, I felt very strong, very resilient. And I think ultimately what I wanted was to look as strong as I felt. So that was also another huge reason why I wanted to start lifting weights, because I was like, I'm a strong woman. I might only be 5'2" and like 100 something pounds, but I'm a strong woman, Yeah. And I wanted people to see me that way.
Yeah. So have the outside match the
inside.
inner strength that you actually carried. All right. So you embarked on a journey of strength.
Yes.
And I assume, based on the pattern now, back to studying some books, figuring out how to go about. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's exactly.
Tell me about that.
So, when I wasn't studying for nursing school, I was watching YouTube videos, figuring out, okay, how do I, what do I need to do to basically get this physique that I want, to feel strong, to look strong. And so it probably took me like a year of like fully being in the gym before I really figured out what it is that I needed to do to get to where I wanted to be.
What was it you needed to do? Because that's such a, I would say, potentially also something which you can see with your clients, right? People trying to figure it out, learning as they go, but not quite cracking the code. But it seems that you got there. What did that journey look like, or actually getting to a point where you felt, okay, now I'm on the right path?
Yeah, something that I went through that I think a lot of other people go through is, if I was in the gym, I'm like, I need to be sweating, I need to be out of breath. I mean, I was like 0 to 100 I needed to be. And to me, in that moment, that was, oh, you're making progress.
Yeah.
You're making changes. And that's how I determined how well I was doing in the gym, which I later found was not the best thing.
Not for that goal, at least.
Not for that goal, exactly. Not for my goal of wanting to build muscle. So in that year is kind of whenever I learned that I didn't need to do, 20 sets of one exercise 4 different times, or that I didn't need to do 10 to 12 exercises every time that I worked out. It's almost like less is more, not when it comes to lifting the weight.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized, okay, you don't need to be in the gym for 2 hours, number one. Number two, you don't need to be doing, 15 exercises. And 3, you don't have to be completely gassed and out of breath the entire time that you're working out.
So where do these misconceptions come from? Because they still live out there,
Yeah.
right? And so what's that about? What's your thought about that?
I think it's the feeling. You get that feeling of this is really hard, this is very challenging. And I think when people imagine themselves sweating and their heart rate's up and they're out of breath, they imagine themselves, burning these calories and gaining that muscle. So I don't think it's necessarily like a misconception that comes from like social media or anything. I think it's just how they feel. They're like, oh, this must be working. I'm sweating and I'm really out of breath.
But you found out that wasn't the path for you. So now you're starting to get change.
Yeah.
Right? And
Which was a little scary because I was just like, this is obviously not what I'm used to. And I was like, what if I, gain a bunch of weight because I'm not sweating as much and I'm not as out of breath and I'm doing less exercises. So it was definitely, it felt at the time risky, which in hindsight, I'm like, no, that's the best thing you could have done for yourself.
But you stayed with it. What made you stay there? Was it knowledge?
Yeah, I think it was the fact that I was consistently learning more. And so I felt like the more that I learned, the better I was getting at it. And obviously that goes for anything. And again, even for nursing school, that was still an outlet for me, a form of meditation of like, okay, I've done all my homework. I've done all the studying that I possibly could. My brain actually needs a break. Yeah.
And realizing that is a break that you can take.
Yeah.
Right? It's amazing.
And again, it's all about perspective.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because that can be a hard thing to juggle for most people, right?
Yeah.
Like you're busy, you're overwhelmed, you have a demanding job. So they can often see
that's
gym
just like
or working
another
out
thing
as
on the
another
to-do
thing
list. Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
What makes people see it differently? What does it take to?
I think it's honestly, I feel like maybe there's too much of like a stigma or it's seen as like extreme to kind of fit that into their schedule. So I think that naturally because of that, people have that idea that it's like, oh, I have to get to the gym. Like I have to do this if I want this body, instead of basically thinking this is a privilege that I get to have a gym membership. I get to move my body. I get to go in and I get to only focus on myself. That's the only thing that I'm here for is for myself to better myself. But yeah.
So at what point do you actually start like communicating more broadly about this? Because of course you had some social media activity, but there's quite a message there which is still true to what you communicate now, right? The ability to change, building a toolbox, getting to a way of doing things which actually drives change. When do you start posting about this and communicating?
So I was just kind of posting for fun, just like random little like nursing tidbits. I was also a server during that time too, so I was working in nursing school and trying to figure out the gym at the same time. So some stuff about serving and the gym, and it was just for fun at first. And then I started getting comments, and they're like, "What do you do in the gym? Like, what is your workout split? What's your ab workout?" And I was like, "Oh, these people are interested." And at the time, I'm like, I'm not really sure why, but I mean, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I do, But I think it's also at the same time, I don't think I was aware of the transformation that I was, having throughout the time of like, wow, my body actually is changing.
Right.
Because I don't think I was really so much focused on the physical changes. So when it happened, I was like, oh, yeah, people do want to look like this. Like, it's pretty cool.
Would you say you were more focused on the process?
Yeah, more focused on the process, and again, just kind of using it as meditation of like, I get a break.
Yeah. So what did you do with that response, right? Because now this is usually like one of these moments of, there's something here, right? Something which I thought was just sharing some workouts or what I do is actually inspirational for others.
Mm-hmm.
There's something more to it,
Agree.
right?
Yeah.
So what did that realization look like, and what did you do with it?
Yeah, I was halfway through nursing school. It was like that summer. I like made a little poll on my Instagram, and I was like, I'm thinking of doing like a little workout program. Say yes or no if you would sign up. And I got 50 responses that are like, yes, we would sign up. And I'm like, yes, this
Yeah.
is great. So I spent all summer, trying to make this little program work, and it was pretty small and basic, but it was still something I was proud of. That took a lot of work for me, and I did it on a website that like was not made for any kind of coaching program, no fitness, so it definitely wasn't user friendly for me or anybody
Not
else
for
for that
anyone
matter.
in that process.
Yeah. And so I remember launching it, being super excited about it, and I got like 8 people sign up for it. 5 of those people being my family and my friends.
There we go. The true supporters,
Yeah,
always
exactly.
there.
Yeah. And I was like, like I thought there was going to be more people that were going to sign up, and I was like, you know what, that's okay. I feel good about what I had, put out there. And it was like, $10 a month for, quick little program. But again, very basic, very generic. But
I have 2 questions about that,
Mhm.
because there's one thing that you mentioned there, which is back to your, let's say, healthy dopamine kicks of applying yourself,
Mhm.
putting some effort in,
Mhm.
and getting something out there which you're actually proud of,
Mhm.
the work that you've done. That gives a lot of confidence,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, the other part, combination of that is, well, when something then doesn't work out as you exactly thought,
Mhm.
you picked yourself up and continued.
Yeah.
Like, why?
I think it's because I try to make sure that everything I do comes from a place of want instead of a place of need. Like I wanted to share that part of my life. I wanted to help people. I wanted to give people access to the things that I was doing instead of a place of like, I need to do this so that I can become successful and so that I can make money while I'm in nursing school. And I need to do this. So I think that because of that, I was okay with kind of how everything panned out. So I didn't really see it as something that I should be ashamed of or something that I should have been sad about, because I was still helping 4 other people outside of my family.
Yeah, and proud of what you've done, what
Yeah,
you had
yeah.
done, which is important.
Yeah.
So the other question there is this idea or the thought of being able to monetize some of the traction that you had there. You had that thought since you're creating a workout plan, spending the summer on this. It's gonna sell it, mind you, for $10
Yeah.
a piece, which is not too much. But that idea of being able to actually monetize
Yeah.
that and make it, where did that come from, and how did you decide that?
I think it came from, 1, the fact that I wanted to share it, and 2, that I was like, I'm putting a lot of my time and effort into this. I don't know that I, would want to just kind of give out all of this for free. So that's kind of where that came from. And also the fact that I was in nursing school full time, also still working as a server to pay for nursing school and, all my other expenses. So I think that's kind of where that came from.
Makes sense.
Just support my life and my lifestyle during that time.
And because now you have 2 things kind of being built up in parallel. You have an online presence, it seems, that is growing your learning there. Some traction, right? People wanting something from you, as well as nursing school, progressing in that, because now you're in your 2nd year of nursing school. So these 2 things are happening simultaneously,
Yeah.
right? What does that look like for you? Is there are there contradictions, interactions, or does it just go smoothly for you?
I would say that because I wasn't taking social media too seriously at that point, it almost just still felt like a hobby to me. So I was still able to completely put all of my focus into nursing school. And again, it was just something that I wanted to do, wanted to share. So it never felt like an obligation, like I needed to post in order to become an influencer, become, the successful health coach. I don't think I ever really thought past that of just making content.
Right.
Yeah.
And what does that change then look like? At which point do you kind of go more all in? I know you finished nursing school.
Mm-hmm.
You start basically at the ICU.
Yeah.
Then after that, is that around the same time where you get more into doing health coaching more
Yeah.
seriously? Tell me about that part.
So it was actually the last year of nursing school that the activewear brand that I work with now, Define, reached out to me, and I started posting more from that. And I was like, oh, okay, like, I can actually, people will actually make money from social media. I'm like, this is pretty cool, So because of that obligation to meet that requirement, I was like, okay, like I have to post, X amount.
Mm.
And so then once I graduated nursing school, I just started posting more. So then it kind of just led to me being like, wow, I can also be a content creator and a nurse. It was nice because I was like, oh, I don't have to study as much anymore. Like I work my 3 shifts at the hospital and that's it for work. So content creation became a little bit more prevalent and something that I, started working a little bit more on. And then for coaching, I kind of got to a point where I was like, I feel like I'm ready for something more. So then I kind of almost went back to the same concept that I did in nursing school, where I was like, oh, okay, let me just find like a little website that's actually made for coaching.
That's a development at least.
Yeah.
Easier for you, easier for
Yeah,
others.
exactly. So I'm like, okay, this will be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like I've already done this before and I did it the hard way last time.
Yeah.
So hopefully this should be better. So then I started trying to work on a better website that's more user friendly. And then I found Linus instead. So
And I mean, at that point, your benchmark for what is possible is around 5, 10 clients, maybe,
oh yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
is that kind of what you still have in your mind? You'll make the process easier for you instead of the hacky websites and stuff. But where do you see kind of the ceiling of where it could lead to?
During that time,
Mhm.
I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was like, I am meant to be a nurse. Like that was my calling. And that was something that is something that I never want to give up. So I think that when I was thinking of coaching, I was like, I think it'd be fun to do, personalized coaching and do one-on-one coaching. And that's originally why I came to that idea of, oh, we're only going to do like 5 to 10 clients because that's all I can handle. And that gives me the best of both worlds. I get to help people outside of the hospital. I get to help people inside of the hospital. I get to help prevent disease that I see, people in the hospital struggle with. So for me, I was like, oh, I'm happy there. Yeah, that's perfect.
But things went differently,
Yeah.
right? Because this wasn't the same as now your first the summer launch that you had in
Yeah.
between the classes. Like, how did it go and what surprised you there?
It went a lot better than I thought it would. Yeah. I think that it was definitely a surprise, just obviously from the little flop that I had.
Yeah, because you had the first
Few
10
few
within a
years
couple
prior.
of days, the
Yeah.
first 50 within the weeks,
Yeah.
and then it basically kept stacking upon itself in
Exactly.
that same trajectory. Very
Exactly.
linear.
Yeah. And so I think that because I was doing like all the calls myself to onboard these clients is really when I was like, wow, like this is crazy. Like people genuinely want to sign up. Like these people want help. And I think that at that moment when I saw all of the leads coming in was like, oh my gosh, like this could really be something.
This is real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have quite an interesting opportunity there because you work as a nurse, which is pretty you have some fixed days.
Mm-hmm.
You show up for your shift,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a hard job,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a lot to deal with, but you've learned to leave it at the door.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
From cheerleading.
Back to that, yeah.
Right? So when you're there,
Mm-hmm.
and when you're not, you're off work.
Yeah.
Right? So talk to me about that, like how you managed to navigate both.
Yeah. I will say that in the beginning it was very, very overwhelming. And I say that just because I was still full-time nursing while I was trying to launch this business. So any days that I wasn't working, I was taking calls basically from 9 to 5 because of the leads that were coming in. So it was probably like week 1 or 2. I'm like, wow, I'm tired,
Right, yeah.
and I'm making plans for, the new clients that I have. So a lot of different moving parts. But just like you said, leave it at the door. again, that's something I stand by. So one thing I think that has helped me the most is being intentional and being present with where I'm at. So when I show up for my job in the ICU, I am at work. I'm a nurse. I am in the ICU for those 12 hours until I'm not. So that meant no thinking about, my clients, no thinking about what I could do better for my business, no thinking about tomorrow or the next hour. It is, I am there, and I think that I owe that to my patients, to my coworkers, and I also owe it to myself to just think about one thing at a time. So same thing goes for me going to the gym as well, of just being intentional, being present, and giving myself the time that I need to just truly be there.
Applying yourself to the thing you actually have right in front of you.
I mean, it takes off so much stress, so much stress. If all you could do is just one thing at a time, I mean, it's easy peasy.
Yeah.
Just make yourself have a little bird brain and don't think about anything else. Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Modern day and age, right?
It's
where
so
you can
hard.
be connected all the time, and regardless of where you are, particularly in an online business, right? I mean, you basically have, let's say, the option to be present and to bring it anywhere and always be doing it, right? But I think it seems like you've learned some skills also out of necessity and obligation while being a nurse. It's not an option for you. Interesting.
It's also too, I think, pattern recognition, because sometimes I do fall into those bad habits just like anybody else does. But I think it's, when I find myself going to the gym and still responding to clients or messaging and taking forever during my workout, I'm like, I can't do this. And then I'm like, all right, the next workout I have, I'm strictly only working out. Phone is on D&D. We're not looking at it. That's it,
Right.
Yeah.
It also, I guess, necessitates delegating at some point, right? So you have a busy start. The launch goes well. You're gaining clients. You're at 100 clients in no time, right? There's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And you have these times during the week where you can't do that because you're being a nurse. So at some point you have to delegate and start building a team. What does that process of learning how to delegate look like for you? Was it a challenge for you?
Yeah, it was. It was very challenging, and I think it's just because, again, back to the same as saying, this is something I'm proud of, and this is mine, and I did this. I think it was hard to let go of the fact that, I might not be able to do all of this on my own. If what I want is to continue nursing, I'm going to burn myself out that way. So I kind of came to that realization in January, which was probably 2 months after launching. And I was like, wow, I can't take these calls anymore. It's just too much for me. And that's when Linus was basically like, we have inbound sales. They can help you in that area. And then my key account manager was also like, we can hire assistants, and like, it's okay to have help.
Yeah.
Because I think I was just so used to being like, no, I can figure this out. I could do this, So it was definitely hard to build that trust and to trust myself to delegate to the right people and delegate the right things. But as a nurse, that's what I'm good at. So
yes, and you have to in that
and prioritizing,
context as well. Exactly. Prioritize what's urgent and important,
exactly.
and what
The
do
rest,
I need to. The
we
rest
just
you can
talked about
kind of deprioritize. But there's still that. I mean, you seem very, you're conscientious and you really want to focus on having a good product. So I'm curious about that journey, right? How do you get to a point of building a team, having people who you feel can deliver, something that you're still proud of? Because that's like the founding fathers syndrome, I believe, or founding woman's syndrome, right? It's like, I can do this better than anyone else, so no one can take over this part, which you have to overcome to be able to scale a business and help more people.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
But so how do you build that confidence that it's good enough for you?
Yeah. I think that, one, I had to trust, obviously, the delegation process of saying, if what I want is for my clients to have a good experience, to really love this product that I'm selling, then I'm going to have more help. And that is obviously okay. So I think that because I was reminding myself that I'm doing this for them to have a better experience, that it made me feel a little bit better about having this assistance. And I would say, as far as like the entire process goes, I am still learning to this day. I'm still learning how to lead a team. I mean, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
And to how to be somebody's boss, basically. So I think it's every day it's really something new that I'm learning, or every day I'm like, let's try this. Like, I think this will work better if we do X, Y, and Z. So I think the fact that I am very involved makes me feel like
So being present in it as well is a key thing. I mean, we have to remember we're under 1.5 years in here.
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm like, we're moving fast.
Yeah, we're moving fast. There's still a lot going on. You seem still very confident in your product. And which other things have you? What have you learned there in that process of leading, being a leader, beyond presence? Because you mentioned being present in the business is a key thing.
Yeah.
But what else?
I would say mostly like letting go of perfection and giving myself some grace as far as like, it's okay that everything isn't perfect right now, or everything everything is not exactly how you want it to be, but it's getting there. And again, like I said earlier, the challenge of that makes me feel good. I'm like, this is motivating, and to add to that, as far as like my clients and stuff go, they motivate me. They're the ones that inspire me to keep going, to, keep pushing, I guess. Yeah.
And it goes both ways, right? And I guess that both ways goes back to part of your core story, or what people, I believe, are drawn to you by, is like this ability to, you built your own self-image, neuroplasticity through a book, right? You built confidence. You built a body, which is what you wanted, right? So what is it that you feel that people really resonate with regarding that message of building confidence in a body self-image?
I'd say it's just like being whoever you want to be, changing whatever aspect of your life that you don't like whenever you want to, because you have that control, because you are in control of your own life. I think that helping them recognize that they have the ability to change, that just because they were brought up a certain way does not mean that they're set in that certain way, or just because that's what they're used to does not mean that they have to stay that way. So I think that maybe that's what resonates with them. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Man, well said.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And I agree with that's definitely part of the pull. So I'm curious about another thing. You are, it seems to be a person who is very good at seeing a problem, breaking it down somewhat like academically, right? And then implementing for change. In coaching others, you're doing, right? So I'm curious about, what have you learned from being a health entrepreneur, from coaching others, which you could have never learned in a book?
I think I have realized that community makes a huge difference, and somebody there to basically say, I am proud of you and you are working very hard, makes all of the difference. And I think that that's something that I have learned, just as far as like talking to people in general, of people will thrive off of, other people being proud of them, making somebody else proud. So I've definitely learned, and I'd say that, and a lot of people come to me as, they're like, I have these crazy busy schedules. And it's more so of just like breaking it down, of you don't have to follow a 7-day routine. It's okay to work out 3 to 4 days a week. You don't have to do anything crazy. So I think it's also, I've learned that there's a big crazy stigma on people thinking that they have to work out 24/7 to basically achieve the physique that they want.
The expectations that they set for themselves, right?
Yeah.
So you've been on quite the rampage for just under 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So I'm curious for you now, even at this point in your journey, looking forward, what are some of the things which you're really excited about?
Oh, really excited about.
Yeah.
I would say what I'm most excited about is to continue learning and to continue growing. I feel like every day I'm coming up with like a new idea that I'm like very excited about. Again, my most recent one was that challenge that I had for my girls
Activities.
to do different activities, to find joy in their lives. So that's definitely number one. I'm excited for my app coming out. Very excited for that. And I'm just excited to continue on this journey. I don't know. I think it's hard because I'm a very, day of person.
Yeah.
I set my goals for the week. I set my goals for the day, and that's kind of where I stay.
Well, it seems to be working. It seems to be working for you very well. And at least if you have people around you who sometimes look just a couple of steps further, then that'll help. And that's
Which Linus thankfully does that for me.
Like you mentioned, support system and community around you, that'll really do it.
Yeah.
But Kennedy, I really look forward to seeing where you will be in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
On your journey to like keep this neon sign of I help people shining as bright as it always does.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for sharing your story.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
All right, Kennedy, welcome to the walking pads.
I love it.
You're used to them, so I know you won't fall off. That'll work out.
Or so we think.
Yeah. We'll see. So what we're going to do here is just a quick rapid fire. I'm going to get you to state whether or not what I present for you is overrated or underrated in terms of its impact on people's health, happiness, and longevity.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So using the gym as therapy.
Underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Training to failure.
Underrated. Yeah.
Underrated?
Yeah.
Yeah. Intermittent fasting for weight loss.
Oh. I say overrated.
Overrated. Okay. Using supplements to improve your health.
I guess it depends on which one. So I guess we're a little in the middle.
Little in the middle?
Yeah, is that okay?
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair enough for me. All right, I'll mix this up. I'm curious about a couple of personal things about you. What is a hidden talent that you have that not really many people know about?
I can move my ears.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me see.
I have to stop smiling though.
Yeah.
Because
it might not work. Well done.
You see?
I think the biggest skill was stopping the smile there.
Oh, yeah. Straight face.
All right. So what is a health and wellness hobby or habit that's a non-negotiable for you?
I would say playing. I think that, I don't know, it just makes me happy, and it's something that I could do with my friends, my family. I actually just recently got my friends to play volleyball with me. I've been begging them for like a year and a half.
Amazing.
But I got a volleyball net for Christmas, so we've been using it at the park. So definitely non-negotiable is playing.
Playing. Yep. That's a good one. I haven't heard that one before. Okay, you have two demanding jobs, ICU nurse and coach. If you were given a week where no one demanded anything of you, what would you spend that week on?
Ooh, probably some of my other hobbies. So like scrapbooking. I think more play.
More play. Yeah, it goes full circle there.
Exactly. Volleyball, love that. I was in a kickball league for a little bit, so that was a lot of fun. Tennis, pickleball. So yeah, coffee shops. Pastries, for sure.
You'd be busy. That's what I hear you say.
Yeah, I would be busy doing a whole lot of nothing, kind of, yeah.
Sounds good. All right, thanks a lot, Kenny.
Yeah.